If you would allow to me a moment to share with you a great conversation that I had with a new client. It's my hope that what I share with you is a blessing to you the way it was to her. She granted me permission to share this. She said, because Doc, what seemed so obvious after our conversation was not obvious before, and I believe it will help many people. She's 33 years old. She's a mother of one. She's in a 10-month relationship that she said is going well. She said the guy's a great guy, has a great job. He seems to be a very respectful man. He and her daughter gets along really well. And they have no problems, no issues in terms of arguments, things like that. She said she only has one problem. I said, well, good, this should be an easy call. What's the problem? She said, well, she can't go anywhere. She can't do anything. I said, I thought you all didn't have any issues. She started laughing. She said, no, not major issues, Doc. She said, but when I say that, I mean, he's very controlling. He comes across as controlling because she can't go anywhere, do anything without either him knowing about it. He doesn't ask me to request his permission, but he stopped short of that. I said, give me an example. She said, well, he just really gets upset if I go somewhere and I don't tell him I went. And so then I will say, well, do you want me to tell you that I have to go somewhere and do something? And he'll be like, no, you don't have to tell me, but at least, or ask me if you can go, but you need to at least tell me that you're going. I said, so it's a play on semantics. She said, in essence, yes. She said, it's making me, Doc, uncomfortable because I do like him. I think it's going well, but I don't believe we're at that phase of our connection yet. We haven't had serious conversations about escalating the relationship to a higher level. And I don't understand the point of checking in. I said, I think you're right. And I said, I think you've set up this time to speak with me to probably just get pushed in the pool. So let me talk to you about a couple of things. I said, let me give you two things that I want you to think about. I pulled out my eyeglasses rag and I said to her, I said, if this is life, what most people do is they grab life like this and they hold it this way and they squeeze it this way. This is a very insecure grip when it comes to love, business, relationships, work, doesn't matter. Anything that you grab like this for fear of losing, you eventually will lose. This is a very insecure grip. I said a very secure grip is to hold life like this. When you hold life like this, you've got 5 fingers. 2 of those fingers are on your life. 3 of those fingers are free, which means the stress that you put on a situation is never greater than the stress of your free hands, or the freedom rather of your free hands, which means you're always going to have more power because more things are not holding things regarding your life than the fingers that are holding the things regarding your life. I said, this is a relaxed grip. This is a confident grip. This is a secure grip. The reality is love is not control. It's a choice. And anytime we try to control love, we are squeezing it like this. I said, the discomfort you feel is this. I said, has anybody ever put their hands around your neck? She said, playfully, yes. I said, how did that feel? She said, not well. I said, it felt like this. Somebody had their hands around your neck, and this makes it very uncomfortable. When we are in relationships and connections with people who have to control us, who feel the need to know every move that we make, every step that we're taking, I said, what might start off as seemingly loving or caring eventually converts to feeling like control. I said, here's the problem. 2 problems. Number 1, he's gripping you like this. I said, number 2, you've been together 10 months. He has not positioned himself to be doing this. I said, because the reality is checking in is for serious boyfriends or husbands. She said, how would you define a serious boyfriend? I said, a serious boyfriend is a person who has had a conversation with you about marriage, the next level. That is a serious boyfriend. Anything short of that, you have no business checking in as a single mom of a beautiful daughter, where that should be your focus. Yes, have a boyfriend. Yes, show him respect. Yes, you don't want to go in places that might come across as disrespectful to him and your connection with him. I'm not saying that's the case, and vice versa. He wouldn't want to do the same regarding you. I said, but there's a big difference between being respectful and making your partner aware of what's going on in your life versus asking permission. And I said, I said, look at it a simple way. If you've ever been to the doctor or you go to the emergency room, that's probably a better example, and you walk in. If you've got an issue, you check in. If you go to the doctor, you check in. Why? Because checking in is for people who have a serious issue. They need to be seen. They have a serious appointment. Maybe it's just a checkup. But you don't just come in there and randomly just go in there and walk through and just do what you want to do when you're sick or you have the flu and just walk right in the back and see the doctor. It doesn't work that way. You check in because there is a bond between you as a patient and that facility. There is a heightened bond that's going to involve insurance and financial obligation. I said, there's a lot of people out here, and especially women, if we can just be honest, that are checking into men that are just their boyfriends. And they're not even serious boyfriends at that. Checking in, again, is for a serious boyfriend, defined as someone that you have been with for a significant period of time or had significant experiences, because time isn't always the major factor. You can be with someone for a shorter period of time, but have significant experience with them that escalate the connection that you have with them. But if you've had significant time or significant experiences with them and you have had serious conversations about what happens next and serious talks about that, that's different. Or your husband. Other than that, you have to learn how to live your life. I said, and let me just be very clear here. I said, it doesn't mean that he's a bad guy. I could make a lot of assumptions on why he does this. I said, you've had conversations with him about how he's grown up? She said, yeah, we've had talks about that. He's come from a divorced home. He's seen some challenges in his family in terms of how his dad treated his mom and things like that. I said, that seems to make sense. And she gave me more detail. I said, and it really proves my point. You say he's a good guy. And if you say he's a good guy, I believe he's a good guy. All I can take is your word. I said, but his desire for you to check in could be connected to his attachment style. It could very much be connected to his attachment style, which is a reflection of how we are raised as children, whether it be through parents or guardians, or it could just be connected to good old-fashioned insecurity. That maybe he's had some bad relationships in the past that have made him insecure. Maybe he's been cheated on. I don't know. Maybe he's just had some situations and challenges in his life that have made him insecure. And now you are reaping the grunt of that insecurity by the things he's requesting of you. So it doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad guy, but he could very well be an unhealed guy. And sometimes a person can be a good person and be unhealed. And when they are unhealed and a good person, they do bad things. She said, wow, Doc, I never looked at it that way. I said, most people don't, because people don't put weight into healing. I do. It's the reason why I teach the 5 areas of healing: mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. At the end of the day, when you check those boxes and you're a good person, you're going to come out all right. If you're a good person and you're not checking those boxes and healed in those spaces, you could be a decent person and still do crazy things. And it may not even feel crazy to you because you're not healed enough to understand it. I said, so again, let's not confuse love with control. If he loves you, his job is not to control you. Even if he's married to you, his job is not to control you. His job is to love you and to give you the freedom to be who you are while he is who he is. And you both come together as independent, whole people, and you make it work. She was very thankful. She's not going to be a client. She didn't have really many challenges going on, but she said, she's going to probably set up some time for he and I to work. And I'm looking forward to that. I hope this video was a help. If it was, type church in the comments with 3 R's. And then remember, you've got 2 jobs. 1, be better today than what you were yesterday. And 2, don't forget what I told you. What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Zeb. Listen, I've been dying to make this announcement for a very long time now, and I'm pleased to say that Inspire Nation has officially launched. Yes, we finally got a Facebook and YouTube community group where we're going to have exclusive content, exclusive shorts, exclusive discussion prompts, where we're going to engage with other people literally around the world who are on the same healing journey that we're on. I need you to go find these pages right now on Facebook and YouTube. Inspire Nation, follow the page, join the group, introduce yourself, and be prepared to link up with literally thousands of people around the world who are on the same healing journey, who are looking for the same resources and who want to also be surrounded with other like-minded individuals who are growing in the same direction as you are. I'm so excited about this because it's the beginning of some great things I can't talk about right now. Listen, you got 2 jobs. 1, be better today than what you were yesterday. And 2, don't forget what I told you.